Hey there, this is Mini Pots, and I am doing a week in review. I hope everyone had a good one. I had a semi productive one, but I was also at home a lot with my kids, which took a lot more time than I care to admit. The What I have here is the Undead Norman Knight for oh, Silver Bayonet. And I have straight from the pot the I'll show pictures of the paints in just a second. And what I'm doing here, I painted the chainmail with Vallejo chainmail, and nope, that's a lie. Gunmetal. Vallejo. Now these are older bottles. They've changed their way they do things, and I got these a couple years ago because I forget who did a video showing all the different metals and what they thought of them. And I thought, I didn't really like the Games Workshop stuff, so that's why I had left all my modeling stuff in a safe place with my parents. And of course, when I came back, oh, this is going on some time now, everything had dried up. So I didn't want to invest in the whole thing when I got back in the hobby right at the beginning of COVID. And so I just ended up doing the thing, and I have a little bit of this, a little bit of that in my color preferences, which I know a lot of other people have that same thing. We can review. What I was able to get done are the miniatures that I think you can see. I'm having some trouble getting that guy's little foot. Here. I did both of the vampire guys, and I did all the hobgoblins, and I was hoping to have this guy done before tomorrow, but it looks like I'm going to not make that happen, but we will see. Um, all the paints there are pre-shaken, so this is all using AK, but I do have Black Templar by Citadel, a strong tone. These two are dry from yesterday, and I started thinking I needed to get something up, so that is, and I'm sorry I keep on taking this out of focus. Now I've worked with magnification before, and so it's sort of, but this is a little bit harder in a certain respect. Let's see, can I do that? I think we start having some delay. And I think that's this, no, the strip's down here. And I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I had some time to do it, not a lot, and maybe that was what caused it, or because no, normally you would see like just a whole slew of stuff and some other things going on, and you'd be like, this guy has no idea about how to stay focused on one or two projects. And you would be right. The I was watching somebody and they said we're asking for suggestions on brushes. So if you are so inclined and you want to share suggestions on brushes, I used to really like the uh, Monument Hobbies artillery brushes, and they have since changed. I mean, this brush is 4 years old, 5 years old, and I think it just works like a champ. And but its tip's a little bit curled, and that happens with, I've been told, with synthetic brushes. But really, this was, and the newer stuff I've used once or twice. Now I am being a little bit more uh, proactive in cleaning the brushes and that type of thing. And so this is going to have two things going on with him. He is going to have a overcoat of a dark tone, then I'm going to do another overcoat of the Night Haunt Gloom to sort of give him a ghost effect. The shield is going to be painted half black. I guess I could do like a red, but I didn't. That might be better. And so I had a productive paint week. I decided I was going to, so a couple, 3 years ago, my wife and I started watching Bob's Burgers, and we thought it was hilarious. But life happens, and you can't. And I'm sorry. I'm thinking I must have not had that guy in focus. Now, what I couldn't find was, I do have plastic, but my sticky stuff. Of course, I will hang up, and all that stuff will be found immediately as soon as we. Or I would have stuck this guy to a dowel or something, and like to make it easier to paint him and not worry about me sparing something or ruining a finish. Okay. Did I get the, okay there. So reading, haven't made much progress in reading anything, just reading a couple little rule books. The I did have a go through this last week of the latest by Snarling Badger, which I've really, if you notice something about my videos that you think I can use a little help on, don't be bashful. Please let me know. I know there's different software. I'm doing this on my phone, and I'm happy with the software that I got for the most part, but I have enough common sense to know that I can probably always do a little bit better. And if you saw me doing this, you'd be like, okay, so what's going on? So I am watching the phone screen, and looking at it through magnification, and making sure I can get everything. And when I pull him out, it's to see if I have anything else going on that I need to take care of. I have a child yelling for me, so just a second. Yes, of course, it's getting to be close to bedtime, so we have to do the thing of I want, I want, I want. And I can't blame them, but I can sort of blame them. So I will probably regret doing any of this, but okay, dude. I apologize for that. And this is all painted up, and I'm going to do basing. And I have these two basing products by Sprue Dude that I wanted to show you an example of to see how they compare to. And of course, if I could show it. See, I thought this was like graveyard type of stuff. And so we have that going on. That's the next step. And my now that's Reikland Flesh Shade. And I have covered some metallics occasionally with it to dull them and age them sort of. But I think the dark tone is going to do that. So I did add a drop of water to the Black Templar and the dark tone. And I'm going to eyeball it. Now, this is not rehearsed. This is me literally thinking, I've got to just get something up. And I'm sorry for the lack of communication when I'm focusing on painting, but that's where I'm at right at the second. And so my next thing is dark tone, I probably should do a dry brush of white. And my wife might be in here to yell at me about something with the kids, because that is, they've been home all week, so that's a little bit rough for them, the transitions now. And normally I would do a marine juice of this because it has some reddish tones to it, but I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I'm really looking forward to doing some of the, like, for pillage and Baron's War type of stuff. I'm just seeing how the different colors affect and what you can, and something tells me I will have the be more proactive in making sure I have like a dowel or something to hold the knights while I paint them. It is the weekend after Thanksgiving, and we stayed home, which is fine by me. We have some, I try to invite a couple of friends over that don't necessarily have people to go to, and sometimes that happens, and I like that. And we didn't have that this year. We had us and the kids, but that's probably not a bad thing. I hope everyone had a good holiday if you celebrate, and if you don't, I hope you just had a great week. We all deserve a great week. Yeah, I'm okay with that, the way it looks right now. I think I'm going to do a dry brushing with some white, but I'm not. I want to give it a second. So that's what I got painted, and this is the new pill base by Wargames Atlantic. I did get him magnetized, which I don't have something here that I can show you, but it is magnetized, and I magnetized little shields, and that way I could paint him and do some different things in the future with him if I wanted to. That's a little bit too far out. And still reading the Witches Murder Trial. I forget the full title, it doesn't matter. And I've been listening to Alton Brown, Adam Savage. I saw Alton Brown came up on my YouTube feed, so that's why he was in my brain. The Adam Savage, Every Tool is a Hammer, and enjoying that. I have a couple more hours to go on that, watching things. Demon Hunters still, which I'm enjoying, still in first season. Enjoying it a lot. It's different, without, it's anime, so that's, I was going to say without being too different, but that's not really making any sense. It is a different type of show, enjoying it. And that's it for stuff like that. Got a few new things. I ended up getting the Wargames Fanatic Black Triad Plus, which had the latest by John Blanche, the latest color added to that triad, and then they also had I got the Ruddy Browns, and I will probably there's a couple more I might be getting. I do something here where I put some of the shades in these dropper bottles just for ease of application, and the larger ones are bottles from Amazon, but you can look on the internet for huge minis, and they have a set, or they did have a set of 24 bottles and a little funnel and a thinning medium, so you could transfer your stuff, make it a little bit easier. And I like it. I like transferring stuff. I don't like, when you come across things that you've lost because they weren't able to work with them right away. And these, even though you'll get that crust around the inside of the case, the lid, you can still, it doesn't show it in this one, but I had a couple that had just that crust on the inside, and I was like, oh. But I did the horse, and everything's thinned down, so I don't think that will affect this too much. But on the Knight, I think it might, and so I'll have to wait and see on him. That is where I'm at. Sorry to talk so softly. I hope everything came through. I hope you're enjoying this, and thank you very much for watching. All the people who have subscribed. I will have I have a lot of books I want to do flip throughs. It's just taking the time to do it. And then I have had a game up on my table for a couple weeks to try to videotape a playthrough or a turn or two of a playthrough. And that's just because of everything else going on. It's been a little bit crazy. Hopefully I'll have some time this next week or two. That's it, really. I appreciate everything, and have a great week, and happy hobbying.